What's up, ladies and gentlemen? First official episode of the Simulacra podcast. Gonna, be the little taste test of what this is gonna be for the future. I got my friend from school, John Wherry. Say what's up.
Hello, everybody. I'm John Wherry.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna talk about whatever. It's a regular conversation. So,
You want me to introduce myself?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm John Wherry. No, no. That's basically it. That's all I have to my name.
Guys, we really don't have a lot of things to say for our. We really don't. We're not that interesting people, but it is what it is.
I'll say I like making videos about anything that comes to my mind. I'll just make a video.
And I was gonna get into that because, I was gonna ask you. You've told me before. You obviously everyone in school knows you for your presentations, and you post cool little short films on Instagram and whatnot. And I was wondering how you actually got into film and making short movies.
You just do it. Like, if you're planning on doing it, if you're waiting for any opportunity, then it's not for you.
Right.
Okay, I just got to be that blatant. You just got to go out and do it, whatever you can. You can make videos of wildlife if you can. Find something, like pick up a garter snake. As long as you know it's a garter snake, it might be something else. And just make a video of it slithering on your arm. And then put I don't know, some music, some classical music over it.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I didn't post it anywhere, but it's just a little hobby. You
didn't have any specific inspiration, you just started recording stuff?
There's things that inspire me. Mainly it's music. When I find a piece of music, I'll just have something racing in my mind, or maybe it'll remind me of a movie, or maybe I'll listen to a movie soundtrack, and I'll just think about what to film with that type of music on. But also there's, I don't know, I can't think of any inspiration right now, but there's definitely you'll see film or some shot, and then you'll want to just recreate that for the sake of your appreciation for that film.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you can't force things, it kind of naturally came to you, but you took the first step to record something.
Yeah. And you don't have to worry about a budget, because all I use is my junky iPhone SE. And it really makes me hate filming on such a low-end device, but at the end of the day, I just enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a humble beginning. You're using the resources you got. Same with this.
Yeah.
Same thing. Using the resources we have and just doing what you enjoy. Obviously, two things which are special to you: your short movies, and also you take people on bike rides, which is something we've talked about before.
Yeah.
Inviting people, did you just go on bike rides on your own and then you started inviting people, or how did you get into that?
It's hard to tell because I forgot when I got my first bike, but it was when I was really young, probably preschool. And then in kindergarten, I remember there was this guy that would ride a bike without training wheels. And it was his bike only, because nobody else could ride that. And then one day, all of the tricycles were gone. And so his bike was left. He wasn't there that day. I was like, okay, I gotta take it, and I gotta find out what it's like to use this. And I did. And then I went home, and then I took off my training wheels, and I just got on my bike and rode, because it was so much faster than training wheels. So I don't know. That's just how I started biking. And then my friend
the park and pushing me around with the training wheels. And
You got to get thick tires in order to learn first.
yeah.
Like plastic tires, not even rubber, I think. It was just plastic. And then I have this really great friend that I still will ride occasionally with, Wesley, who's really big into mountain biking.
Mhm.
And he took me on trails. And that's kind of where I started biking with people. I always liked just going on the grass on my bike on little trails. And yeah, I guess from there, I just thought, since I have two bikes uh, at the beginning of this year, now I don't, because
You sold one.
my higher end bike is broken. I sold it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, the
now I'm looking for a bike.
broken bike. We know what kind of guy you are, John.
Yeah, you know, it's rough. It's rough. So I was just like, I'll take people on bike rides sometime, because I have two bikes now, and I don't have a truck.
And you
So
want
yes, please. Yes. Anything to take people out of the city, because I just am not a fan of the city.
yeah, kind of the environmentalist. And you get to
Yeah.
learn about people when you go on a bike ride like that. You know, you're kind of in a secluded area and you're left to just both of you get to talk about whatever it may be.
Yeah. And I don't like to, I guess I'll judge people. Yeah. But
Also,
at least out in the desert, all you know is that it's me judging you, and not any person who's walking around.
yeah. I mean,
And I hardly judge that bad. So,
yeah.
you know, I want to make people comfortable in that just desert badlands place. It's really cool.
We live in Vegas. We live in the desert, yet most of us don't go out to experience it.
Well, a lot of it is gross. A lot of it is just dirt and spiky plants and just weird animals, like weird lizards,
Yeah.
scorpions, tarantulas. But if you can get red rocks, like red boulders, if you can find those and then just hike around on them, it makes it a pretty cool place.
Yeah. I used to go on bike rides in middle school with my dad, but we stopped doing that. I guess it also wasn't as enjoyable as going out with friends. But
Yeah.
yeah, now we can get into some serious talk. So normally we talk, you know, I call you because we got something to talk about, but we're doing a podcast, you know, and let's bring up the vice presidential debate, which just happened. What was it? Was it 2 days ago? Was it?
Uh, Wednesday night. It's Friday night, 2 days ago.
Yeah. I mean, we're screwed. We know
Uh,
that.
I mm, I don't know. Because last debate I thought Biden did good, and this debate I feel like Pence did good.
What? How do you think he did better though?
Mainly it was because he just had this like stern look, like it was serious. We're getting down to business.
He was.
And then Kalama was like smiling and laughing while 200 people are dead from coronavirus. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, this is kind of,
I didn't even think about that
it's
because
just not my cup of tea to laugh about when you're the vice president.
yeah. Damn, I didn't even think about that because in terms of the facts she was presenting and everything, I thought she was winning it. I'm not about this whole politician, you know, trying to get into our hearts. Like we have all the victims in our hearts and we think about Americans. Like I don't give a shit. I really don't care. Like we
Yeah.
want to do something, you know. And that's I felt like Pence was just sucking up, but I guess it is kind of inappropriate that Kamala was acting that way just because she probably doesn't take him seriously.
I think so. Because I think Hillary Clinton did the same thing in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And if the American people see that again, I don't know, we might see a similar result to 2016.
Well, well,
But
at least it was overall a respectful conversation.
yeah,
They,
that's all we can ask for.
yeah, they went over the limit a couple times, but that's natural.
Mm-hmm. But also, whenever Pence went over the limit, he just didn't even care. He was just like,
President Pence,
but then Kamala Harris was like, I'm speaking. I'm
yeah,
speaking. And I was like, okay.
stand strong. She's a process.
Wait. Yeah. But okay.
Yeah.
I went back and watched the midterm debates with Obama and Mitt Romney.
Ooh.
And those were such a breath of fresh air,
Yeah.
compared to what we have now. And
it's crazy to think, like, where did we have that sort of transition into just terrible politicians? How did that happen?
I was talking about that with my dad. I forgot who he listed, but he listed some conservatives where they're like, we won't compromise, no compromises.
Mm-hmm.
We got to stand here. And my dad, he said that politics is weird because you're supposed to debate someone and then have dinner with them afterwards, like fight with them and then just be cool with it.
Right.
But then now it seems like nobody wants to have dinner. Everybody hates each other.
Yeah. It's
So I don't know if that happened between 2012 and 2016. It had to happen with Trump's election, how he presented himself.
Well, already had that sort of strong following in 2016, so who knows what would have happened if he would have lost.
Well, I feel like the stakes are higher now.
Yeah, no.
If he loses this year compared to 2016.
Yeah.
Just because of how extreme everybody's getting about people who don't care about them. That's it.
There used to be a sort of a left and a right, and we could come in the middle, Obviously, I lean left. Like, if it's Obama versus Romney, I'm going Obama. But Romney was a respectable guy,
Well, he had some good points.
Yeah, and you can't hate on him. He was a respectable guy. But now it's like, on top of going from left and right and then meeting in the middle, we've gone from left and right to more left and more right, and there's no compromise. And on top of it, we have worse candidates.
Yeah. I kind of disagree. I know that it seems like it's more, the left is pushing even more left while the right is like kind of going right. Mm-hmm. Of course, there are always some extremists on both sides.
Yeah, of course.
Especially on the right. We've seen the media like shout out everybody. But it seems like now, as people push more left, classic liberals are like moderates now, or they're seen as more right. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. It's just like, it's too much for me.
Yeah. And both of them have backgrounds, Biden and Trump. Both of them have some sort of background. The thing is, with the presidential debate, as long as it, obviously no respect between the two. It was kind of more just bickering more than debating. But Biden was surprisingly coherent, which was kind of comical.
Yeah, it provided a little bit of relief.
Yeah. Because it was like, if he fucks up, then we know who's taking this.
Yeah. They must have put him on something. I'm thinking that. Because
I'm thinking is that they like trained him or something, and Trump knew that he couldn't be thrown off like his train of thought, and sort of that's why he was interrupting a lot. because if he gets pushed
Mhm.
his train of thought, more chance that he like stutters or messes up or says something.
Yeah.
So I think that's why there was a lot of interrupting, because he wanted to throw him off. And Biden was probably like practicing in the mirror the night before exactly what he was going to say.
Or he got some good like stimulants.
No comment. I really don't know
Ooh.
about that. But that's it's like in 2016 the polls were heavily favoring Hillary, but it's like the polls
Mm.
show everybody that ended up going to vote.
Well, polls are propaganda.
Yeah.
You can't really put all of your eggs on the polls.
Yeah.
In Vietnam, the US had polls where they made up fake kills of the Viet Cong,
I
and
did
then we lost the war. So polls are just propaganda.
people when we knew we were losing.
Yeah, yeah. So polls.
Yeah. Um, but that's the thing, like, I mean, already, like, what is it, like 4 million people have already voted early?
I don't know.
I think they said that after the debate, but we'll see. Honestly, I just want it to pass because I feel like there's so much division around the world. And with COVID on top of it, it's like after this election, no matter who it is, we won't have to worry anymore, you know?
I hope.
You might have to worry more.
Yeah, yeah. You should stockpile something. Stockpile on some food because
Guys, make the toilet paper sell out again.
if yeah, if Trump wins, we're gonna have cities burning down.
Yeah.
And if Biden wins, I don't know. Conservatives are just kind of like, oh, I voted. It's all good now. Oh, we lost. Okay. And then liberals are burning down the city.
I don't know.
And
I feel like this maybe we could get into this later, but the creation of social media has sort of people now put on like a fake front, you know. Their Instagram is not really the life they live, or like all the girls on, you know. And if you're listening, Twitter activists, I'm sorry, but it's true. How many of y'all actually like do what you preach? Because commenting on Twitter BLM isn't gonna do anything, you know. But you can like call your governor. You could write a letter or something to your local government. So I feel like a lot of the people that go to those protests and burn shit down are just angry and just need something to do. People are bored, you know, and people get crazy. So
yeah,
that's the reaction we get with Trump losing. But no matter which way it goes, it's going to be chaotic. And it's kind of scary, you know, seeing groups who on the other side with walking around with guns and all that. You know how I feel about
about guns.
I mean, some people talk about civil war. I hope not, because
Oh yeah, yeah. I've heard about civil war.
Canada better open that bitch up.
Yeah.
But
Who are
yeah,
you taking in? Who are you taking for a civil war? The right or the left?
ooh. First episode, we're already putting our political belief
Yeah.
apart. If I put aside left or right ideals, let's just say I'm a complete centrist and I vote, you know, on a 1-to-1 ratio, I'll vote Republican 1 year, Democrat 1 year.
Mhm.
The American ideals, you know, of democracy, when you have a president who says like he doesn't know if he's going to have a peaceful transition of power, that's an attack on democracy.
Yeah.
And if he were to lose, will he have that peaceful transition of power? And if he wins, how will he use his power the next time? So I'm going to have to take the left on this one because I think Biden, a lot of people might dislike him, but he's like, in the mental, he's like 105 years old. So he's going to be a year into the presidential, into his term, and he's going to be like, due to health issues, I've decided to resign. Kamala take over, and then when she loses in the next 4 years, it's hopefully we have somebody refreshing. Hopefully Kanye doesn't actually take it seriously that year. Hopefully we get a better candidate, like a Tim Dillon or something like that.
Joe Rogan. Yeah.
Joe Rogan, I would love to see that, but I'm gonna have to take on the left on this one, not because of the simply because of the sort of attack on democracy. We got another guest to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it going. You see what happens, guys. We're 17 years old, you know? We got parents. We live with our parents. What can you do? This is water. Don't get it twisted. But yeah, we're waiting on the surge on Wherry. It happens, you know? Again, as I said in my introduction video, which I hope nobody watches because it was honestly really average. We're going to see progress in 5 years. We're going to be in the studio, yo. That's what we're going to be doing. We're not going to have to worry about parents walking in anymore. But look at him. He's back. But yeah, that's just what I was saying. I would take the left, not because of the ideals or beliefs, just because of the sort of threat to democracy. You know, that's the one thing that we're meant to defend. You know, that's the thing that we're supposed to protect.
Yeah. I'm not very concerned with Trump, I don't know, becoming a dictator. Because if he really wanted to, there were so many opportunities that were present earlier this year where he could have declared martial law.
Especially
with COVID, he could have put like police in the street, or with the protest, he could have brought in tanks.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Will he actually have a non-peaceful transition of power?
Probably not.
Yeah, it's probably all just smoke and mirrors to act tough.
And he's always gonna say whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, like the military has to be on his side, and I don't think a lot of them are, especially after all the shit about him calling them losers or whatever. You know, doesn't have. Didn't he dodge the draft? So, pretty sure the military wouldn't be on his side. So again, not concerned. Simply, if some people do talk civil war, that's just how I would feel. I feel like one's a greater threat. Well, the other one, you know, both sides hate each other, but I feel like one side would do nothing, you know, just do no harm, just be there, you know, sort of.
Which side would that be?
Just be a placeholder for 4 years.
Oh, yeah. But also, I think we're at a point in our, I guess, consumerist lifestyles in America where people don't even know what a civil war would mean.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't have malls or grocery stores to go to.
Yeah.
Because they'd probably be cut off by people. So I think we're kind of just like soft. We're too soft for a civil war.
That is true. The Karens are hot talk, but they're not going to go out there, you know. But yeah, again, like that's something I was thinking the other day, because I just recently watched the documentary The Social Dilemma. Did you watch it?
Nah, but I've heard about it.
Gotta watch.
I don't want to watch it yet because I want to have my sanity when I'm online.
Right.
Not think about anybody watching me.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what happened to me. I was just on Netflix in bed like this, and I was like, well, now they know what I'm watching. They're gonna know I got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they at the end they talk about worst case scenario where this sort of division could take us to civil war, and I was thinking, how are we gonna fight it? Like when
on Twitter, everybody's gonna get doxxed and platformed.
Jesus Christ. It's going to be cancel culture. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Come up with a better case is going to win. That's what I was thinking. Like in the 1860s, we fought like in the South, in like farmland. Mm-hmm. Where the fuck are we going to fight now? You know, the people that are going to fight live in like fucking LA. You know?
Yeah, it would have to be Eastern Californians versus West Coast Californians.
East Coast.
Everybody who's not on the coast will probably be fighting for the coast. Something like that.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it I don't think it'll get to that, but again, it's sort of a crazy thought to think about. Like, obviously, last year we took U.S. history, and it's so easy to throw around the years. Like, shit, I hope I know my history, but I'm pretty sure it's Civil War, right? 1861 to 65. World War II, 1940 or 41 to 45. And it's like those 5 years seem so minuscule in the large scheme of things. But now, we're living during COVID, and it's been about 8 months since the pandemic started, and they felt pretty long.
Yeah, this is felt pretty long, even though it's like 7 months?
Yeah, like 7, 8.
Maybe 8. Not. Also, World War II is from 1939 to 1945. Well, 1939 to 1940 or 41 is Europe, and then U.S. entered in 1941.
America entered. Yeah.
Yeah. They don't want to teach you 39 to 41 in U.S. history.
We always had to clean the job up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to clean the job up. Real clean, dropping 2 nukes on Japan, guys. Really good.
Well, talk about our clean job in Iraq now. You want a clean job?
It's gonna be like the 70s if we go to war. We're gonna have everybody with anti-war posters walking around. But
hope.
Yeah, kind of crazy thing to think about, and it's technology is also our worst enemy now, not just people.
Yeah, it's like a sweet burden that we have.
Yeah.
We can have everything at our fingertips,
yeah.
And yet our minds are depressed and our hearts feel depleted of dopamine.
Well, it's sort of like, they say we live in the information age, but it's sort of much information. Like,
yeah,
technology relatively slowly developed in the last hundreds of years, and the human brain stayed relatively the same as well. But now we just have this huge, surge in new technology and phones and new information. And the human brain has evolved zero. So it's overwhelming.
Do you know when the first computer was invented or made?
I'm guessing it depends. Like, because during World War II, they had those computers that would like fill up a whole room.
Yeah, the Enigma Machine. I think that's what it was called. The first computer.
Watch the movie The Imitation Game.
Was that about the Enigma?
Yeah, it was about that British mathematician, which they say he won the war, who cracked
the
Enigma code. Good movie, guys. Go watch it. I don't know if it's on Netflix, but shit, you can buy a movie. You can rent a movie for like $4 now.
Or you could pirate it.
You could also, ladies and gentlemen.
Which I don't condone, but
No, that's not what he's saying. Don't get it twisted. But.
I wanted to get back to the information.
Oh yeah.
Because now we're flooded with so much information that it's so hard to find information that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And it'll be increasingly difficult to find any information that goes against the narrative that the media has set up because of just, I don't know, what do they call it? Like blocking or something? Just flooding you with information that goes with their agenda or narrative. But you're like, I don't really want that part of the story.
At the same time, the algorithm is programmed to give you what you're looking for too. And it's not going to give you what you know what I mean? Like if they know that you look at a lot of right-wing stuff, they're going to keep giving you that. They're not going to give you anything from the other side. It's like, well, again, like you got to watch The Social Dilemma. It's like the flat earthers. Like, where the fuck did that come from? Because that would have would have never happened 50 years ago. But now what they do is they program the people who have been searching for it. They give them a lot of flat earth information, and they surround them with the other people that are in the flat earth community. So they feel like other people agree with them, or other people think the same way, so they end up falling for it and believing it. And, it's like, there's a lot of data and not a lot of information, a lot of nothing, and then hard to find the substance. But it's like your strength is your weakness. It's just technology is our strength. It gives us the ability to do things we've never been able to do. And at the same time, it can be used against us.
Wait, they show you the same information on like Google or YouTube?
Like, for example, I'm just saying in how they, like when you're scrolling on your feed, or like
which feed?
on
There's multiple feeds. Like, okay.
Twitter.
Because I'm talking about like Google. You want to search something up on Google.
Oh, okay.
They only give you Washington Post, CNN.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But then again,
I forgot what else.
They have the largest followings too.
They do. And they probably pay to get the first spot on everything.
It's all money,
It's.
But like social media especially is programmed like that. Like, for example, like, have you ever been talking to your parents, for example, let's just say hypothetically, you're going to buy a pair of shoes. And then you go on Amazon, you search up a pair of shoes, and like 2 days later, you'll go on a website and you'll get an advertisement that's about shoes. It's constant activity to recommend you things that are going to lend you,
Yeah, like I'll either go on to OfferUp and look for a Jeep, or I'll go on to Safari to check out like car parts, how much they are. And then on YouTube, I get these ads, which either maybe I'll watch videos about the Jeeps or the car parts, but it feels like it comes right after I look for them on Safari or anything like that, which I didn't think Google had access to, like Safari or OfferUp. Maybe they're just watching my screen, but I'm not sure.
Well, supposedly they can. I'm pretty sure Yelp was one of the most like intrusive apps that even when your phone is off, it's like your information's going like third-party companies and whatnot, and those are the ones that give you the advertisements. They're paying people for your to get.
It's a big business.
Yeah, I mean, how would you have made money off the internet? They had to find a way to monetize it.
Well, now it seems like I'm getting. At first, YouTube was like awesome because you could watch whatever you wanted with like little ads.
Yeah.
And now it's gotten to a point where I'm just dreading the ads. I can probably get ad blocker. I don't know. I'm not that good with technology, but it's just like too much for me. And I'm just like, please spare me from just watching 15 seconds, 5 seconds of something, I don't know, Old Spice or ball shavers. Just weird stuff. I don't even want to, I don't know.
Manscaped 3.0 or whatever.
Yeah. The ones I do like though are like pistol holsters, and they're like, this is what the special ops use, and I'm like, okay, that's cool.
But see, that's something that they know you would be interested in.
Yeah.
Like, they know shit you've searched up in the last 6 months.
Well, it's like related to that video about guns.
I'll get something on like an advertisement I might get is like a streaming service for soccer games.
Oh.
Like pay like $5 a month and you get access to the channels that stream these like leagues and these competitions.
Do you find that on soccer videos or different videos?
I wouldn't be able to tell you, but I just know I get them really on whatever. But they know that it's what would interest you, That should just get smarter. I like to think that if humans are this smart and humans are making artificial intelligence will never be able to pass humans. You know, it'll
Well,
our intelligence.
that's the goal. The goal is to make it higher
And to do
than human intelligence. Well, okay, so we've expanded technology from, I don't know, I guess 2010 to now. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
If we had an AI that did better than human intelligence, I don't know, it would take like 5 years, 2 years to get that much innovation, which is scary because it's just evolving so much faster now.
Yeah. It's insane. I don't even know what we're gonna do with it, but it's at once like so exciting and also so scary because you know there are always gonna be people that are gonna use it for bad things. Especially with like Elon Musk, like the Neuralink shit, the brain chip. There's like it's awesome. Supposedly you'll be able to instantly download any language you want.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sick.
It's gonna be tight.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to listen to music in your head like without earbuds. I don't even know. I don't know how you made that work.
Listen to the Simulacra podcast while you're walking
Okay,
in your head.
in that case,
Yeah.
chips, get them.
Yeah.
But it's scary that it's gonna know that much about us and it's gonna have that much information.
It already has that information.
Yeah. We're essentially going to become the AI. If we can create some sort of alternate reality for ourselves, you know, with the chip, like you can imagine like you're living somewhere else or you're just, you know, just an alternate reality, you're never going to want to live here now.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's already people who don't want to live here now. They're obsessed with video games, TV.
That's what's even scarier because that's what's going to make these new technologies like the chip, that's what's going to make them
even easier to, yeah.
People are going to be attracted to that. They're like, I hate this shit. So let me get Elon Musk's Neuralink chip really quick. Don't mind if I. But that's just, it's going to, again, how damaging is that going to be to society when nobody's going to be worried about here and now, especially when we have stuff like climate change. We're just not.
Nobody's going to worry about it. We're going to be in our, air-conditioned homes.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, if it keeps people home and everybody stops driving, it's going to be like that first week of COVID where we had dolphins in the streets and shit. Like
in Venice, in the streets.
Resurgence of nature.
Well, I would say climate change is unavoidable. Like, we're not going to be able to avoid this, even if we support Elon Musk and his plan to make cars electric, because there's still pollution that comes from there. So it's like we can live in a future with global warming and gas cars and diesel cars, which are awesome. Mm-hmm. Or we can also live in a world with global warming and electric cars.
Or
so, which world do you want to live in?
Mars.
Mars, yeah, Mars.
Yeah, it is inevitable. I guess it's kind of too late now, but what can you do? What could you do? Like we've talked about this before. We're not going to kill the Earth. Earth is going to kill us. And that's essentially what it's realizing that we're damaging it. And it's...
1 second.
Yeah, of course. You can bring him on the podcast. I'll interview him. Hold on to that thought, ladies and gentlemen. Climate change and humans dying. Let's hope not, because I want to have kids, bro. And I want them to live it up. If they don't give me grandkids, it's whatever. But at least give my kids a life. All right. Back to what I was saying about how the Earth, we're not going to kill the Earth. The Earth is going to kill us. It's realizing we're damaging it, and it's creating conditions which are going to be uninhabitable for us. And in 10,000, 100,000, a million years, Like, it's the same thing if there were a nuclear war and we wiped everything out. In a million years, there's going to be a little plant that's going to sprout out, and life is going to start again.
Well,
Asteroid hits it.
it won't kill everything.
Yeah.
The asteroid couldn't kill everything. The ice age couldn't kill everything.
Yeah.
Global warming is going to kill the tiny, I don't know what we have. Just like microorganisms. What are they called? Unicell organisms that are just one cell. Those aren't going to die.
Yeah.
And it's hard for people to think that everything's going to end.
Yeah.
But sometimes our end will just be because of us, like heating up everything.
Yeah. Melting icebergs and.
Yeah. It's not going to be pretty, but it's an end.
I mean, have you seen, well, I guess this is completely unrelated, but like animals from Chernobyl?
No.
They have like 3 eyes. I mean, it's not, but there's like cats that have like damage from the radiation and whatnot. I mean, same people with the coming generations of like Hiroshima victims and stuff like that. They have certain deformities. But yeah, just what I was going to say, touch on that topic you just mentioned. Like, humans are so self-centered. In my opinion, I think humans are really self-centered. I think we have a huge ability to do good to the world, but we also think that the world revolves around us. Sort of this feeling of entitlement since we ruled the world, we're at the top of the food chain. We're the one who has all the land, and the only thing that sets us apart is our brains. But again, we feel like the world revolves around us. Like, we're going to destroy the earth when no, we're going to die and the earth is going to do just fine without us. Or like when people talk about God and things, it's always about humans, like God only relates to humans. Rarely do we ever touch on animals and plants and nature. It's like, we're the ones going to hell. We're the ones who have these rules set out for us. But anybody who came down to earth would just see us all as another animal,
Well, we are the animals that were able to develop a conscious, to know what's right and wrong, what will probably set us on a path towards hell.
There is no right and wrong. We just were able to sort of get that. I was never finished it. An anthropology book. I think it's pretty famous because it was mentioned in a podcast not long ago. It's called Sapiens. It essentially talks about how humans were never at the top of the food chain. Like, a chimp would absolutely wreck us. We were anything. We were not the fortunate ones. Back then, what the favorable characteristics were strength,
Yeah.
We had these huge brains that were so much larger to any other monkey. There were like 16 breeds of human, or 16 species of humans. And we were the only one. Homo sapiens is the only one that prevailed, but we had a brain. So we had to make tools to defend ourselves from predators because we didn't have strength. And then we discovered fire, and that gave us the ability to cook food. And then we were able to cook food. We could get more nutrients from it, which helped our brains develop even more, created more tools, blah, blah, blah. And fuck, now we're going to die because of artificial intelligence.
Well, yeah. That's how it goes down.
Yeah. But span of the universe, how old is it? It's 13.7 years, the visible universe. We're nothing. We're a speck. The time that we, since the time we created agriculture, it's only been like tens of thousands of years or something like that. Or actually, I
think it's been shorter than that. Maybe. But I would say that I'm very grateful that I get to be in this sort of existence where where these rat monkeys can kill themselves with an artificial intelligence that they made themselves.
Yeah.
Like, something about that just seems spectacularly dreadful. Like just amazing.
Yeah. Um, and
God's up there like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
especially our generation,
All of that.
born in an interesting time period, because our parents have seen sort of the real rise in technology. They, like personal technology, at least. There were computers that were used in like World War II that were the size of an entire room. But I'm talking like personal laptops, phones, stuff like smartphones, obviously. Um, our parents have seen that develop, but we were sort of just born right into it. So we're the ones that are living our entire life with it. Like even like a 25-year-old, I don't think they, maybe a little older, they didn't have a smartphone in high school. They weren't recording everything they did or just searching up homework in the middle of class. We're the ones that are sort of starting to live with that technology from a young age.
Yeah. Um,
Brains
I
develop.
remember I remember when I don't think it was the first iPhone, but it was the iPhone 3G, I think. I was in California, and when I was a kid, I wanted those old phones where you like slide it up and there's a keyboard.
Blackberries.
Yeah, yeah, BlackBerry. And then my sister, she was like, "Oh my gosh, that person has an iPhone or 3G or something, an iPhone." And then I'm like, "iPhone? Where's the keyboard? Where? What?" Um, so it's definitely interesting uh, remembering old memories of flip-up phones, Obama phones, or Blackberries,
Yeah.
and being like, "Yeah, that was the stuff."
Yeah. And then sort of when we were at an age to get a phone, it was already smartphones. So that's what we got used to.
Yeah, except for some of us. Some of us still have Obama phones.
I mean, shit, like there's almost
Nice.
some people are almost going back to it. I saw this thing called a light phone. I'm pretty sure it's LIG,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and it only gives you access to like your phone text, and I think it gives you the option for music, but that's it. Like you can't download any social media, no games, and there are some people that, for example, have stopped using a smartphone and go back to a flip phone because all they need is communication. The rest is toxic almost. So I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm gonna plan on doing.
Yeah,
Probably in my 20s,
it's hard
30s.
though.
It's
It's
very hard.
um I deleted Instagram and Twitter. I only got Twitter back because we got to advertise the podcast. So I guess if I'm going to take this seriously, I need to use social media to my advantage. But in terms of like for personal use, no, there's just no use for it anymore. So yeah, probably in my
Mhm.
I'll do the same thing. People that do that are happier.
Yeah. Um, I still use it because I still use all of the media because I love looking at weird memes and
It's,
then sending it to everybody.
it's a source of entertainment.
Uh, it is. Um, but sometimes the memes just get weird. Like there's people obsessed with them.
Yeah,
And I don't know. It's it's real. It's like nobody would have ever thought of this when they made social media.
yeah.
Um,
Some of them make no sense. Like some of them will just be like,
I went. Oh, hello, hello, hello.
yeah, you're lagging a little bit, but I think we're good now.
Oh, it said internet connection was unstable. Um,
Memes.
yeah, I went on a camping trip over the summer, and I think it was only 3 days where I had no access to my cell phone except for playing music, um, which I sort of listened to. It was nice to just hear the birds chirping and everything, and I was just reading the whole time. Uh, and then afterwards, when I got in the car, I just felt like it was like a good refreshing feeling
Yeah.
of just not having technology around you, not having to worry about riots going on in around the country.
Yeah.
And then now I'm slowly back into that process where I feel like gunk,
Right.
but I get to look at memes. So
Some of them.
memes and gunk, or or refreshing true humanity. I
Well,
don't know.
we tend to pick memes and gunk. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Um, again, and just because it's hard to let go, it's like a habit. Um, I'd love to do a camping trip like that someday and just be completely away from technology. And
Oh,
and
thank you.
we're innovative beings, you know. My mom always says, like, if you're truly bored, you're an idiot, because there's always something you can do. There's always something you can do. If you just lay in your bed and stare at the ceiling, you're just dumb for not finding something. And like when I first deleted Instagram, I remember, like, and this is again small compared to the people that straight up get rid of their iPhones and get a flip phone. But from personal experience, when I deleted Instagram, it was just a habit to open like my social media folder on my phone and try to click on Instagram, and nothing's there.
Mhm.
But when you get rid of that, you find new things to fill your time with, you know? And
Yeah.
those things tend to be healthier. Like the first 2 weeks, you're like, damn, it's boring, but you find new things to fill your time with, and they're a lot healthier. So it's like, right now, 17, I'm not gonna get a flip phone. But in my 20s, like it might be hard to let go, but once you get that flip phone, you're gonna find new things to do. You're gonna find new things to fill your time with, and they're probably gonna be better for your health, your mental health at least, than social media and all that gunk and just really high contrast pictures of Obama.
Yeah. I think there's a value in being bored though, because I think a lot of people aren't bored now,
Yeah,
because there's always something to go watch or listen to.
it's sort of
Um,
like an empty not boredom.
yeah, where it's like you're in a limbo of just information, but you're not really interested in any of it,
Yeah,
which I've definitely felt. And then I have to kind of remind myself, like, hey, I got a book to read. I got a college application to write. Um, yeah.
yeah, it's and that's true. Like we almost can't be bored now because there's always something to watch, always something to do. But again, on technology, how
Hmm.
many times will people be bored and say, "I'm gonna go out on a walk"? How many times will people do that?
Me.
Well, you, but John, that's why you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can go on Netflix. Like back in the day, people probably had to wait until like 8 p.m. Central Time for one episode of their show to play at night, and then the next day they'd watch the next episode. Now you can go on Netflix and binge watch 8 hours of whatever the fuck you want.
That's time wasted.
This time
That's a lot of time.
you don't even sleep,
Mm.
and I'm guilty of that. But it's again just being able to break out of those habits. How do we do that?
Well, I've pretty much cut out a lot of watching TV shows and movies, just because I have a lot of stuff to focus on.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, we're
but I always watch one episode of The Simpsons every morning while I'm eating like cereal or crepes, something like breakfast.
good choice.
Um, what?
Crepes are good.
Yeah, yeah, especially when they're homemade.
Oh,
Oh, um, but The Simpsons, I don't know. There's something nostalgic about watching it at like 7:30 in the morning.
do they still make episodes?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna watch those. I'm I'm only going up to season like 7. I think that's where it's good. The old Simpsons. I'm on season 6 right now.
How many seasons are there?
31,
Holy shit.
and I watch one episode every day. That's my only sort of entertainment.
A lot more than if you just knock out a whole season in a day, which I'm sure is possible.
There's like, well, I don't even want to think about that. That's that's too much for me.
Overwhelming.
Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe the new episodes predict the next American Civil War.
Mm, I don't, there was one episode. I saw a video about it, and I recently watched over the summer about some virus that comes to Springfield from Japan, I think, and it's an airborne virus, which causes the whole town to get sick.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, and then they oh geez, I forgot what the premise of the episode was. Like they have to go to a town court meeting and do something because there's always some different storyline in The Simpsons that goes somewhere different. And what they had, hornets come out. Did you hear about the murder hornets?
Huge ones.
Yeah. So they had that in the episode, and then eventually in the episode, everybody like tore out into riots. And it's like 2020 in one episode. Yeah. And I just recently watched that 2 months ago, maybe 1 month ago, and I saw a Red Letter Media video about it. I was like, yeah, I got that Simpsons knowledge now.
I mean, there's like, didn't they like predict 9/11 and a bunch of other shit too?
People will say that. They'll just put a bunch of stuff out there and then hope that in 20 years something goes along with it. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like we sort of blindly trust whatever we see on social media. Like this person said this, or this show predicted this, and we never like search up the actual episode or search up the actual person. We're just kind of like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
there was something that you said earlier that I wanted to correct.
Oh man.
Just for the sake of consistency. It was when we were talking about ads on YouTube. I forgot what it was.
I was saying how they target ads.
Yeah. I forgot what it was.
Yeah. Definitely a dilemma though, because it gets crazier the more the deeper you get into the movie. It's like a half movie, half documentary. So interviews with like ex chief of whatever in Twitter, Facebook, Google, and they left, I'm assuming for moral reasons. And then they also have like a family, which is, it shows the effects of social media. So that's like the movie part. It's like an actual family. There's one part where the kid goes on a protest because of something he saw on social media, and he ends up getting arrested at the protest. And
that's something you don't want to do. That's
happening now. There have been fake protests that have been like launched from someplace in Russia or China, and they're sent out on social media like Facebook meeting or something, and a bunch of people sign up for it, and they end up creating a riot from not even from the United States, like somebody who's trying to start chaos, and people will go.
Yeah. I'm searching this up right now. In the newest Call of Duty trailer called Cold War, there's a guy who talks, whose name is Yuri Bezmenov. I think that's what it is. Yeah, Yuri Bezmenov, who has an hour-long speech about deception, and it ties along greatly into the Art of War book, which I have on my shelf over there, but I don't want to get up to go get it.
Is that the Chinese book? Yeah,
it's Sun Tzu. I think I probably just made someone angry because I mispronounced the name. But yeah, it's really, really interesting because you can see the effects of that, which happened in the 70s with anti-war protests. And we see it now with anti-police protest. People who are kind of undermining authority now in order to catch more power.
And that's what I was also saying earlier, like how a left and right has become an extreme left and an extreme right. Like obviously hopefully we can all come to some sort of consensus that there are flaws in the judicial system and with police departments, right? But the people that aren't anti-police, aren't BLM, are like, no, nothing's wrong, keep them as is, give them more funding, fuck it. And then the other ones are like, let's just get rid of them. It's like,
Yeah.
we not think, how can we make it better? Because we need police. We do. But something's wrong. But nobody thinks, let's find a solution. Nobody
Um,
do anymore.
you said judicial branch or judicial
Yeah.
authority. How should or what's wrong with judicial authority?
For example, like African Americans are sentenced a lot heavier compared to white people that commit similar
Oh,
same crimes.
okay, yeah,
Somebody getting locked up for selling weed, like, come on.
yeah. Kalama Harris did that.
Well, I don't know.
She did that a lot. Yeah, uh, yeah. But then again, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't have all of the facts presented to me. But there is something to be said about the prison industrial complex.
That's the thing. Like,
It would be weird.
I think this might be more on the right, but people just want to see more people go into prison. It's like they're
Mm-hmm.
by sending people to prison, but it's worse because first of all, you're sending people to a prison that's terrible, and they essentially come out worse than they came in. And if they don't, they're going to end up falling into the same cycle of incarceration.
Mm-hmm.
And also, people want more people locked up. They want their kids to have a better education. They want all these things, but they're like, but I want lower taxes. And it's like, well, how the fuck do you think these shit's paid for?
Mm-hmm.
We have by far the most people in prison, if I'm not mistaken, and the amount
Yeah.
of money spent on it is ridiculous, and the amount of people that are making money off of it is also insane.
Mm-hmm. Um,
Anarchy.
yeah. I don't know. You should buy a gun if you want anarchy.
No, no,
I
I'm not getting a gun ever.
was gonna. I forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna agree with that point, but then go off of it. Uh, hmm. Do you think the judicial branch should be changed with like the example of the Breonna Taylor case?
Well,
You think that was handled
no.
good? Mm.
Again, I'm not the most informed because I've sort of wanted to take a break from the news. In middle school, I was obsessed. I loved politics and everything. And then Trump won and I kind of just gave up. And so now I don't watch the news a lot. So, but I do know a little bit about the Breonna Taylor case, and what the cops got was just ridiculous. You know, I forgot what it's
Yeah.
called. It's something immunity. Cops have some sort of immunity that protects them, and that needs to change because we can't have bad cops, you know. And it's also too easy to become a cop, and they have too many protections.
Oh, that's an absolute right there. We're always gonna have bad cops.
I don't. Again, like, why do people even become cops? Like, if you're gonna become a cop and you're gonna be scared that you're gonna get shot, of course, like these are things that you're always gonna think about if you're a cop, but you can't act on that fear. You know,
Mhm.
you have to have that will to do that job. They know what they're getting into. You can't have that sort of fear. Like there was another case recently. I forgot his name. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't attack me for not knowing this. But I know the case where he went to his car because his kids were there and he was stopped by a police officer. And the cop shot him like 8 times in the back because he thought he was going to go get a gun from the car. And then they confirmed that there was no gun in the car. But it's that
Yeah.
acted on fear. He can't do that. And now those two kids have no dad. Same with the
Mhm.
Taylor case. Like they busted in at like middle of the morning, some crazy time, not in uniform, right? I'm pretty sure they didn't even it wasn't even urgent for them to go in the home because they had already found the other guy. It was some drug business. And you know, obviously, if somebody busts into your house in the middle of the night, you're gonna defend yourself. You're gonna think, oh, it might be a friendly cop who's coming to question me. Of course, the boyfriend was gonna shoot.
Um, the guy's name was Jacob Blake,
Jacob Blake.
and he was just paralyzed. He wasn't killed. Yeah, I just saw he got out of the hospital like 2 days ago or something.
Yeah, don't cancel me for not knowing his name.
Mm, yeah, yeah.
But that, yeah, that cancel culture is
Yeah.
ridiculous. But well, he survived, but still, that should have never happened. That's what
Hmm.
if you're gonna be a cop, you can't act that way. So
What do you think about the do you know who his name's Kyle Rittenhouse? You
never.
know, the Kenosha white kid, the AR-15.
I heard Kenosha, but
I think he killed one guy or maybe two guys and injured two guys. Something. Three people were involved, um, and he said it was all self-defense. And of course, it's really hard to tell when it's a riot.
yeah,
But the interesting thing is that he had a medical pack on him, because he wanted to help the protesters, uh, like bandage them with his first aid kit,
why'd he take a gun?
to protect this car lot because people were just burning whatever they wanted down.
So protect
Uh,
shoot the rioters.
I don't know. I don't know.
Um,
But from eyewitness report of some journalist was there, um, it seems like he knew how to use his weapon. Like he had good discipline of how to move it and everything like that.
that's an argument I also don't like. Like I when I had Instagram, this must have been 2 years ago, but I'll never forget. I saw this video, and it was like a 7-year-old handling a gun, and
Oh,
he reloaded it like
I think I've seen that. Yeah, yeah. Didn't he have like a rifle or like some bolt action?
it's like this 8-year-old kid holding his gun, and he's freaking bolting, popping the mag in and shit. I'm like, whoa,
Yeah,
too much dip on your chip. How
I
to,
need it.
first of all, who's teaching an 8-year-old how to do that and why?
Me.
Good job, because it can be exposed to something that kills at such a young age. But then I remember going to the comments, and everybody was literally, it was like, oh, I see no problem with it. The kid's trained.
uh,
The kid knows how to handle it. It's like I'd rather have this than an adult that doesn't know how to handle a gun. Like it's an 8-year-old kid. It doesn't
yeah.
matter. I'd be more scared if he knows how to use it. Because if he uses it, it's not an accident. That
Mm.
that stuff's just scary to me. The whole, but again,
Well, that's how you avoid accidents, like the kid shooting himself. Of course, he can't do that with like a bolt action
he should never an 8
gun.
never be close to a gun in the first place.
Maybe it's the argument to that would be that it's it should be what would you call it? Oh, it's responsible to have your kids around these weapons so that they know sort of the like like the power of them.
Yeah.
That they're not toys, they're tools. It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I
Um,
won't lie. Like, I went to a shooting range once, and you do feel some sort of power when you have a gun in your hand.
yeah,
It's scary,
it's
but
also fun.
it's
It's just to hear a pop like a firework.
I'd 100% go back,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think I'd own one. But again, crazy comparison, crazy analogy. But getting people, a lot of times people argue that we need more guns when there's like mass shootings and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
in a way, you can compare it to the Cold War, right? If America
Mm-hmm.
arm themselves up, then Russia's going to get the same bomb or better. And then America's going to realize Russia got that big bomb, and we're going to make a better one. And so if we treat gun crimes or mass shootings with more guns, the people that commit these crimes are just going to find better ways to do them. like the more you arm yourself,
Yeah.
the more the enemy arms himself. Like the first person that probably robbed a house went in with a baseball bat, and so a guy got a gun. You know,
Hmm.
now that robbers they know they're going to rob houses, right? But they also know
Hmm.
now that homeowners are getting guns. They're not going to go in with a baseball bat anymore because they're going to fucking die. Next time they rob a house, they're going to go in with a gun. And so I think it just becomes more and more dangerous.
Um, I would say with like massacres that we see in the U.S. that we don't see anywhere else, um, with guns, it's a little bit naive to assume that it's just the gun. Because off the top of my head, I can think of just different ways to kill people, whether it's mixing mustard gas together and then just throwing it at a crowd, which I don't know. I don't even know if that would kill people. That would probably just hurt their lungs.
Like, let's say took a knife.
Yeah, a knife or a car
Yeah.
or a Molotov cocktail. Just like, ooh, the human
Like
psyche is so messed up.
oh yeah,
Uh,
we're the only ones that
that
ability to do so much bad and harm.
Yeah. So a gun doesn't entirely represent
So,
our dark side of history.
so that's the guns don't kill people, people kill people argument.
Yeah.
I still disagree with that. And here's why, because humans have killed humans across, all of history. But it's different if an 18-year-old goes into a school with a knife and maybe again, this is really cynical and I'm sorry to the viewers, but let's just create a scenario. If a kid goes into a school with the intent of killing his classmates with a knife, he'll get one or two kids. But when you have an AR-15 or you have a gun, you can kill a lot more people. So again, the person behind the gun, it's a person using it, but it's a lot more dangerous. You can't walk into a Walmart with a knife or with a mace or with a baseball bat and kill 20 people and injure more. You can't. You can't do that without a gun. That's
Yeah.
dangerous. It's almost a weapon of mass destruction, but like
I'll I'll give you another cynical point where you're in a school and someone says, I don't know, there's a gang member on campus, everybody going to hard lockdown. So you have everybody in one corner of the room or something like that. And then the guy comes in, somehow he opens the door. I think they're all locked in a hard lockdown, something like that. The guy comes in, he throws in a pipe bomb, and a bunch of those kids die. And those are homemade pipe bombs.
yeah.
So I don't know if the AR-15 would stop anything like that.
And again, like,
Uh,
can you also kill a lot of people without a gun? Yeah.
yeah.
But how often does it happen? These
Well,
mass.
look at remember when? Well, maybe this isn't the greatest argument because I think it was 2016 the attacks in France with ISIS, like the nightclubs. I want to check that, but that was that would be like the counter example. But another example would be 2016. I think it was, maybe it was 2015 in Brussels, I think, Germany, where groups of ISIS people, they just got into like a moving van, which wasn't them. Maybe not a moving van, just a van, a big vehicle that was just on the side of the street. And then they ran over Christian, like Christmas celebrations, plowed into them.
It doesn't.
It's
Different way to kill a lot of people. Yes.
yeah,
But I'm talking about in America at the scale that we have like homicides with guns. The
maybe.
scale of gun violence in America. You can't compare it to obviously terrible too, a terrorist attack in Europe. But here, school shootings every month. That
Yeah.
doesn't.
Well, is it every month? I didn't.
Even it might be more.
Not this year.
Well,
Um,
maybe a kid shot his screen or something, but that's
uh, but I think a lot of them are done with handguns, or at least they don't have a lot of deaths.
no.
Okay, we're just a lot of times when the school shootings make the news, it's usually done with a AR-15,
With some sort of automatic weapon. Yeah.
a semi-automatic.
Well, I'm pretty sure in Vegas a year or two ago there was a school shooting, but I think either
There
one
was a
died or like 2 or 3 were injured. So thank God nothing bad happened. But again, something that shouldn't be happening in the first place. But it was with a handgun, so that kind of stuff makes local news. But it's kind of sad because if a kid went into a school with a handgun and killed 1 kid or injured 2, that would make national news in another country. But here, it only makes national news if it's with an automatic weapon. If it's a handgun, that's
semi-automatic.
semi-automatic. I'm sorry, I'm not a gun genius, but again, that's kind of even more depressing that something like that will only make local news.
I don't even know this.
Mm-hmm.
But how much news is there in other countries where it's like broken up into either cities, states, counties?
Yeah, we have
like a lot of news.
We have a much bigger country. Yeah. So.
And I only watch the national news. I don't even watch local news, which I should.
I watch Joe Rogan.
I get all my news off YouTube and this podcast.
It's just
the Simulacra podcast.
Let's get it off the Simulacra podcast. Again, getting used to sort of talking on camera, but yeah, I don't watch the news anymore because it's depressing. And my grandpa got mad at me because he was like, do you watch the news? Do you keep up with politics and whatnot? And I was like, nah, because it's just sad. Like, I really don't want to fill my life with that. I was like, I can't. And he was like, you should be ashamed. You should be informing yourself anyways. And it's like, to an extent, he's right. But at the same time, I can't vote. So I think I'm just going to pass on news for now. And hopefully by the time I can vote, it's a lot nicer.
Yeah. I can't talk, or I don't really want to talk about politics with my grandfather because I've seen how he's gotten with my mom, where he's like, these people are taking babies out of the womb, grown babies. What? Or something like that. And I'm like,
babies in the
come on. Late-term abortions shouldn't be legal. Yeah. But you can't. I don't want to get into that topic because there's a bunch of everything. But he called like either the left or just Bernie Sanders a bunch of socialists.
Yeah,
just like,
that's the thing. We make ourselves more extreme every day. Like if you watch, again, Joe Rogan, literally my source of news. But if you watch the bit he did with Bernie Sanders, like, go watch that and tell me he's like a radical guy. Go watch that.
They wanna watch Tucker Carlson.
Is that a hard right guy?
What?
Is that a hard right guy?
I don't know because I barely watch him. All I know is that he's like funny to watch.
I'll have to search
from what I've heard.
Just that painting people as communists and socialists, like it's not. He doesn't have radical ideas. They're not. Same with the people on the right. You know, they're not all fascists. You know. But yeah. As for abortion, I feel like it's like drugs, legal or not. If a woman gets pregnant, and she doesn't want the baby, she's gonna find a way. So would you rather have her do it in a clinic, or would you rather have her scramble her eggs?
Or like almost kill herself from blood loss. That's scary.
In Africa, I learned this in a human geography class. Obviously, women, they might have 6 or 7 kids in a mud home with no father figure. They end up resorting to prostitution to be able to raise their kid. They get paid more money to have sex without a condom. So they end up having more kids. They do things like drink bleach for abortions. And I feel like that's where, if we start making everything illegal, that's where we're going to get to. But I feel like if you can find a way to regulate things and do them in an organized way, at the same time educating how to prevent it in the first place, that's a lot healthier for society. But that's my opinion.
Yeah. At the same time, it's like, well,
regardless of your views on abortion, regardless of if you agree with it or not, I think it should still be legal, even if you disagree with it. You could be regulated. But yeah, continue.
Maybe we don't even need abortions, because our generation has the lowest amount of sex compared to like generations 200 years ago. Because everybody's just, watching a TV screen or an LED screen.
Oh, yeah. But
what?
We got Netflix and chill.
Well, yeah, but for like the few people who do that, the rest are all on OnlyFans.
That's another thing.
Dude, gross. That's gross. Or premium Snapchats.
And some women make serious money off of that. I mean, some of them are buying themselves homes.
Well,
Can you
blame them? Can you blame them for just using their resources?
And it's more than that. It's like you don't like Trump. Well, people voted for him. It's like, oh, girls have OnlyFans. Well, yeah, dudes are paying for it in their basement. Like, if no dude was taught to pay for a woman's pictures on the internet, they wouldn't be making that sort of ridiculous money. I mean, if they want to make like some sort of supplementary income, sure. But like, they're buying houses, bro. They're buying cars.
Maybe they're just they're putting a down payment on the houses, putting a down payment on the cars too.
Regardless, they're still like settling down. There's some like dudes out there watching the Simulacra podcast. Why are you doing this? Like, get a girl, bro. Like, this is okay. Maybe it's more difficult. Another thing, we're straying farther and farther away from humanity and human contact. To now, now we have to see women on OnlyFans.
There was a great video about video games released just this week, I think, by this guy named Emperor Lemon, who I really like. And he's like, video games nowadays are less fun than they were back in the 2000s, because back then you would have like, I don't know, your friend right next to you, and you would play on the local multiplayer setting.
Yeah.
But now it's like you can play with everybody in the world, but you feel more alone than ever because you're just in a room with your rainbow keyboard, all alone.
The LED lights make you feel a little bit better.
Yeah. So it's like we're just more isolated than ever before.
Yeah, and
especially with COVID.
It's that technology almost makes us feel comfortable, and that's not good. Like they say that comfort is a creative state. Like when you're uncomfortable with something, you find a way to make a better situation for yourself. But like with technology, it gives us like the ability to talk to someone in California or in freaking India. You can talk to anyone anywhere, but that also gives you like that sense of comfort that you don't have to leave your home to go and see anybody, because you can just talk to them over the phone. And that's also dangerous. We need human contact, because again, when people are getting all their news from Twitter activists and radical people on social media, and they're not talking to regular people in person, they're sort of constrained to that world, and they start dividing each other more. But I'm sure I could bring people on here from anywhere on the political spectrum and have a conversation with them. But if I were to just scroll through their Twitter account and make a judgment and, at them or something, you'd never be able to talk to them, And I guess that's sort of the whole point of this podcast, to just get whoever on here and prove that you can talk. You can talk to people. That we disagree on certain things, but overall we have similar mindsets and we're able to have good conversations. But we're straying farther and farther away from that.
I forgot to say this when we were talking about social media.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never had like a true social media where I post a picture and I'm like, hey, I'm at this party. I always make it something weird where I'm like dancing in New York City in Times Square,
Yeah.
and I make a video because it's almost like I don't want to represent myself on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as you said, like it's all just kind of lies, like the best aspects of our life. And I don't know what type of aspect you get from my life by looking at it. You're probably like, this guy's just weird because he makes videos.
I hope not, because I don't know how the quote goes exactly, but it was something about how like we fail educating youth when we teach them to hold in higher esteem those who are alike compared to those who are different, you know? Because if I was to you and I saw your social media account, I'd be like, this guy's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think most, what?
Guy who has the same exact poses and pictures and they're at parties and they're just doing the same shit. But that's who we're taught to value.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna be constant. There's gonna be no human growth when we value what's the same rather than different.
Mm-hmm. Well, all of my stuff is just cringe-inducing.
But it's creative.
Yeah.
It has some sort of sentimental meaning. You're not just posting a picture and searching up a Drake lyric for the caption, you know?
Yeah. I've had people come up to me and be like, John, your Insta is A1. And I'm like, thank you. Barbecue sauce.
Barbecue.
But nah, A1.
Barbecue sauce is good. But I mean, yeah, like my Instagram, again, I'm off it now, but I did have a very generic feed. But my TikTok is completely weird, like super weird. But I'm so quirky. No, but on
do you have the rainbow lights?
No, I don't.
Oh, you're missing out.
Getting them, but not to be like everybody else. Just because I always have the lights on in my room, and I kind of like it being dark, but not too dark. And I feel like the LEDs would kind of, have that light. But anyways, shoot, what was it? Oh yeah, like 2 weeks ago, I went to LA, and we stopped by Venice Beach because we were staying in Santa Monica. And I was like, Dad, I've never been to the Santa Monica Pier. Like, I want to check it out. Coronavirus wise, it was kind of crazy. Like 50% of people wearing masks, 50% of people not. It was packed. But you see like people taking pictures like against a wall or on the beach or something. And it's like they take the picture and then they just go check it and they post it. It just feels so disingenuous, like where is authenticity nowadays? Like for example, like I'm not gonna lie, I'm a 17-year-old boy. Like I'm attracted to women, and I hope that didn't come off as like I'm a pedophile. But like you'll go on TikTok, right? And you'll see some like baddie girl, and you're like, damn, like she's bad. But then for a second, I just think to myself, like, she was like on her bed, like recording it, and then she stopped recording it and posted it and like put a caption, or like she recorded it and then she was like, actually, I don't like that, and recorded the same face again. It's just not authentic, like filters, makeup, re-recording some aesthetic video. It's just so not authentic. I hate it. This is me.
Yeah, I love Santa Monica Coast, or the pier.
Well, you had your time there too, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people.
What I'll do though is I'll ruin the whole mood and I'll say, "Hey, can you hold the camera?" And then I'm like, "Okay, tell me when you record." And they're like, "Okay, I'm recording." And then I just start dancing. and then everybody's like, oh,
It's spontaneous. You know?
well, it's,
At least it's spontaneous. Like people will go to Venice Beach just to take a picture.
yeah, well,
You don't like it? Oh, take another one. Oh,
that's what everybody wants now. They
yeah.
all just want to take a picture.
It's like,
And you said, what, from the 70s, your parents have photos of just events.
yeah,
It's
like
like, well, we're doing the same thing now.
except
I
everywhere.
guess it's every single, I don't know, day.
And again, that gives us that sense of comfort. We lose value for the little moments in life because they just pass by. But like my dad, the pictures that he has from like the 80s and like they're like barbecues with friends. And it's like one or two group pictures and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But now we sort of think we'll get more of a memory if we record it because we'll be able to look back on it. So we'll take a bunch of videos, we'll take a bunch of pictures at a party or whatever it is. But by doing that, we're thinking we're saving a memory for the future, but at the same time, we're missing out on the present moment. We're missing out on actually enjoying it there. And you know, I have thousands of pictures in my camera roll, and I never go back and look at them.
Really?
Just a couple.
Oh, okay.
Like half of it, I'll probably delete.
Mm-hmm. I always have to go through my camera roll, like scroll up because I have just reactionary videos.
Mm-hmm.
Like if someone says something, I'll be like, okay, gotta send them this video of someone laughing or like saying what something. Yeah. I would say that the most interesting photos to look at are the photos of my family from like 1890-ish,
Mm-hmm.
like early 20th century. Yeah, like the first house that they were at. I think his name was the D.E. Wherry, who first went to Nebraska. We have a picture of him with his brothers, I think. Somehow we found it in our garage.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have it hanging up somewhere. It's always really weird to see that old photo of pioneers.
Yeah.
Big white beards.
That's history.
Yeah, those are cool pictures. But I would say I don't know how cool a picture is from Venice Beach
And
on the same walkboard that I've seen.
but if you were taking one picture, you spent 4 days in LA and you took one picture at Venice Beach, it would have a lot more value. You know what I'm saying? Like that one picture you have of your great however grandfather from 1890 is so special because it's that one moment and it's so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know what the effects of documenting our life is going to be. We don't know what the effects of sort of being able to capture every single moment because we don't know yet. But in 50, 40 years, we'll have kids and they're going to be able to see absolutely everything we did. And we'll being able to see 50 videos that you took with your friends in high school. Will that have the same value as that one picture of your great grandfather in 1890? It won't.
Mm-hmm.
So much of it, you know?
Well, they better be good videos because your children might see them and be like, okay, my dad was weird. My dad was as horny as I am.
Yeah.
But I would say I have.
My homies would go
crazy. Yeah. I have one photo from Santa Monica Pier, and it's probably one of my favorite photos that I have of myself. It's just one documenting that time. Shout out to Flavio.
We're gonna have to send him this.
For that really good photo, for his really good camera. Yeah, that photo was baller.
We're gonna have to send this to Flavio. It'd be like 1 hour.
Please come on. Yeah, 1 hour. Take a photo of me through the computer screen.
It's already 9:57. Holy crap. Yeah, we've captured everything, and this is really gonna go down in history, you know, because the pictures our parents and grandparents have there on a piece of paper, you know, but we have it all, and it is never going away here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put all of my photos on paper soon because, well,
Yeah.
one, iCloud storage. I paid an extra $100 for 200 or 128 gigabytes.
Uh,
And now iCloud is saying it can't hold everything.
I
I'm
literally
like,
got
okay,
the same message today, and we pay extra to have 50 gigs of iCloud storage.
I know they're getting us by the balls,
Consumerism, bro.
and it's annoying
It is annoying. Like,
because it's not gonna go away. That $50 you pay is just it's gonna keep on adding on.
one
You're
day
not gonna delete photos.
you're gonna go to Venice Beach for that one Instagram picture, and it's gonna say out of iCloud storage.
Yeah, yeah.
You're gonna have a mental breakdown in the middle of Venice Beach. But yeah, that would the pictures that you'll print out and put on paper will have a lot more meaning
Hmm.
than just in your 5,000 picture camera roll. So yeah, I'd like to do the same for sure. All our baby pictures are on paper.
Yeah, I love seeing those. So it's like the wholesome photos
Yeah,
that you feel like everything was perfect at that time. Then
yeah,
you start seeing photos when you're like older and you're like, oh, this is gross.
yeah.
Where did all the fun go?
Well, also because we don't remember, so maybe it was dog shit. But since we don't, we can just say it was nice. But we were just sleeping and eating all day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, for sure, in general, even if we were like 17 years old back then, it would be simpler times regardless. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what it's gonna be like. Like, I was thinking, like, would I want to give my kid a phone like before 15? And again, like 17 years old, I'm talking about a kid. I'm just saying, like, hypothetically, knowing what effects like social media and phones have on kids that I got my first phone at like 12. The effects they have on.
I got mine I think when I was 15 or something.
Well, I very
Still.
I got it in like seventh grade, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, no, I got mine when I was 14.
Freshman year.
My brother
Uh-huh.
is almost 15 and a half, and he uses an old phone that doesn't have a SIM card.
Like, your brother's a special dude. Like,
Yeah, my brother has no need for it.
he's like, how many people do art these days?
Well, some,
And again, like,
like some.
if he ever does get a phone, he's gonna be a lot more mature than a 12-year-old who's like, his brain is in like key development stages, and he's absorbing crap. I feel like
Yeah,
like even now we're still so young. Most of us don't know what we want to do in life, but we're being forced to choose that now. So it's like, what's a 12-year-old doing with a phone?
yeah. I think my my brother would actually use the information that's available through a phone to
Yeah,
better himself than to just, I don't know, make a TikTok with
yeah.
LED lights.
It's just like, we've lowered our standards so much. That's another thing I was thinking about. Like, these people are literally just doing like dumbass dances. Like, there used to be people that were actually like talented dancers, and now all you got to do is a little bit of this, little hand motions, boom, 5 million. People are
Big fans.
sick dancers, but we're almost that again. Like, being a sick dancer is sort of losing value because we've lowered our standards. Like, all you need is like some LEDs and a couple arm motions.
Well, you gotta be low key with your dances. You can't make it too high key,
Yeah, and you
or
also,
else it's just like, okay.
of course, you got to be good looking, like us too. You have to be an incredibly attractive person.
And you gotta comb your hair. Jesus
Well,
Christ. This is, I wish I had your hair. Shout out to last year,
oh,
2 years ago.
John had his hair below his shoulder.
It was awesome.
Jesus. I need to trim though. I definitely need to trim.
Cut off the loose ends, the dead ends here.
What you did? Just go bald.
Go bald in the middle, and then have the rest of your hair on the sides.
Okay, it's October 9th. I get 500 subscribers by the end of the year, I'm going bald. Actually, a lot of YouTubers make those kind of promises, so scratch that. I'm actually not gonna probably commit to that if that happens. If it does happen though, that'd be pretty awesome. Pretty big.
I'll remind you. I
Yeah.
got that memory.
Remind me. Probably nobody's gonna watch this first episode anyway, so it's okay.
Hopefully. It's been a little bit of rambling.
Well,
Stuff that'll get us canceled.
that's what happened. Hey, if I get canceled on my first podcast, it just no. Well, hopefully, I feel like the people that are gonna end up sticking around to watch this aren't people that would get offended. So,
hope not.
Yeah, wish me luck. 2 weeks in, I'm gonna get doxxed. Everybody,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get in my comments this you, and then my address, my number.
They'll know what type of internet service provider you have, the iPhone you have,
everything. But yeah, again, like definitely first 30 minutes of this conversation, it started developing a lot quicker, but it takes time to get comfortable talking when you know you're being recorded. You know, it's almost kind of
think about what you're gonna say because it's gonna be up everywhere.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
So that's
I feel awkward. Like again, it's not natural. Like you're used to just. I mean, I guess we're being recorded anyway. Like, thank you for that knowledge, Edward Snowden. But I guess I'm just really putting it out for the public now. But yeah, it just. Well, I'll get used to it for the podcast. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, my mom told me to go read an hour ago.
And you didn't?
No.
Don't we have to read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
I got it right here.
Yes, dude. I need to start getting hard copies because I can't read a PDF.
Yeah, it's boring.
It's so boring. You need. That's another thing. Like another thing, technology's ruining reading. How many people read nowadays? I gotta.
No, they listen. They listen.
No, I feel like
they don't read.
If people each other, we would have a lot more love in this world. But
maybe it's only. I'm not recommending this book, by the way. I've barely read it, like 24 pages. Mm-hmm. The first page was interesting, and then it got boring. But we only got to get to chapter 20.
How many?
That's 138 pages.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, that's like 2 days.
Yeah.
3 maybe.
I'll just get like an industrial printer and print out the books.
Yeah.
Yeah, just scroll down and read.
Get a Gutenberg, isn't that what it's called? First printing press.
Is that what it was? Didn't they like get like I forgot how it was, but like a slab of wood or something? But,
like little wood that would be carved into pieces and then stamped for the letters.
Yeah, with like heat or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess this is gonna bring us to the end of the first episode.
Yeah.
If you made it this far, I love you.
Thank you.
If I could see you, I would literally give you a kiss on the lips.
Oh, that's special.
You have made it this far. We apologize for the, little rambling here and there.
The audio quality.
No, the audio quality is fine. Humble beginning.
The video quality where it looks like my room is green.
It looks fine on my end.
I hope.
But yeah, if you somehow made it this far, or you just skipped, at least you're making it to this part because it's a little bit better than the beginning. But
we should have told people to watch this at 2 times the speed. That's what I do all the time.
I can't.
1.5. Yeah, you gotta concentrate on it when it's at that fast.
Yeah, I also never watch a podcast in the background because I can't focus. I can't read and listen to something at the same time. It's just not possible.
Unless it's like Tim Dillon sometimes, like just having someone yell.
The tone of his voice, which has been compared to that of a wet cigarette box.
Yeah.
You don't even know what he's saying. You just need to hear him, and you know exactly what he's trying to say. Really interesting. Really interesting guy. Go check him out, Tim Dillon. But yeah, we're gonna get used to this whole podcast thing. The episodes are gonna get better, not quality-wise, audio quality, video quality. Gonna be the same for a while because we don't got those materials, but
That's just how it be.
conversations will get better. And if you made it this far, I appreciate it. And yeah, we're gonna end it there, John. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Um, the Cherry with a W podcast will come.
It's in the works.
Yeah, it'll probably come after quarantine, after my quarantine, when I'm safe to go out.
Yeah. Another thing, podcasting is a lot better when you have something in person.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to wait. I just want to start this.
If anybody has any questions, if they want to attack me for my political views,
go ahead, drop them down.
Yeah, I don't know. Hit me up, Cherry with a W, on a lot of.
Do whatever you want. Cuss us out, guys. Just no doxing.
Please. I don't want to use my weapons for lethal harm.
Yeah, we hope you did enjoy, and if the one person that watches, please comment. Let us know you're out there, and yeah.
Hit me up if you liked what I said and you want to hear more. Hit me up if you want to film.
Oh yeah.
With me, because I love filming stuff.
You want me to leave your social media in the description?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Hit me up if you want me on another podcast.
Oh yeah, no, we're for sure.
And hit me up if you want me to take you on a bike ride. I think that's.
Hit him up for the bike.
What?
Hit him up for the bike rides.
Yeah. I'm not at the moment. I can't provide you with a bike, but I'm working on that. I gotta get another bike.
And to sort of make up for our crazy political statements earlier in the podcast, let me even out the playing field. Go vote, register to vote, wear a mask, test yourself, be safe. And that's it. Spread peace and love, baby. All right. Well.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Have a lovely day.